Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
Brandon Jones.
Hello.
And on the switcher, Ian Hink.
Hi.
Don could not be on the podcast this week. Why is that, Don?
I'm preoccupied, Kyle. I'm a little preoccupied. Pardon me, Jones. Do you mind if I slide in
No,
here?
yeah, go for it, I guess.
May I?
Sure.
I'll explain to you what's going on, Kyle. I'm
Okay.
preoccupied this evening. There's something I've been working on the last couple weeks, okay? You guys probably heard about this challenge that's been put forth to the world by this prince of a small country. Look, I think you need a functioning government to call it a country, but I'm not going to name the name of the country. I'm not going to name the prince. You can find this information out easily enough. But I will tell you this challenge that has been put forth to the world, which I have decided to take on, Kyle. And in order to do that, I cannot be here tonight for the podcast. I apologize.
What kind of challenge is this?
This is a challenge he's put forth to anyone, the first person, in fact, that can bring to him, that can present to him a living, breathing dragon will get a reward of 1.6 million of their local dollars, which I'm not going to mention the name of, but I will tell you the conversion rate works out to be about, oddly enough, on nearly 1.6 million US dollars. So, as you can see,
that's a lot of money.
I can't turn my back on throwing my hat into something like
Well,
that.
Don, you clearly don't have a dragon.
I don't have a dragon, Kyle. I don't have one yet. But what I do have is I have contacts, Kyle. I have several friends, predominantly in the South Pacific Rim, and they're in possession of dragons, Kyle. And what they've been doing the last couple...
They have real dragons?
Oh, yes.
Why don't
Several
they just go do
species.
this?
This is a small change for them, Kyle. This is something they easily overlook. And as you can imagine, if I had the means to procure it, believe me, I tried to work out a deal where let me borrow one of these specimens, we'll work out the money. This is small peanuts to them, not nearly worth them, as you can imagine, flying one of these species halfway around the globe. What they will send me, though, we worked out an arrangement, sort of you loofah my back, I'll loofah your back sort of deal, where it's like they've been cold shipping me these boxes. I've probably got one sitting on my porch right now sweating. You know, we're in a heat wave here in Los Angeles. And inside are DNA fragments. This is the third shipment, which I've been using in sort of some light genetic modification experiments.
On what?
You've been to my apartment, Kyle. You can tell your listeners at home I have a lot of cats. Many cats. More than I need. They're crawling all over the ceiling. They're everywhere. So I've been taking some of these, and the feline vessel, Kyle, is remarkably receptive to these fragments of DNA. You wouldn't believe some of the near successes I've almost had.
Don,
so far, failures.
Don, I'm not cool with this. Are you hurting? Are you hurting the cats?
Hurting the cats, of course not. I love cats. Look, I'm not their central nervous system, so I can't describe the exact feelings they're feeling.
You can see pain in a cat's eyes.
This is not pain, Kyle. It should be mentioned before you get too upset. These are only the mean cats that I'm doing this on. These are the very meanest of the mean that I have. Okay, so. At worst, I think they're being given a little opportunity to possibly be a little self-reflective on their attitudes.
So you just have a bunch of dragon cats?
Well, Kyle, I wouldn't go so far to call them that yet. The scales are what I'm having issues with. The scales are a lot more difficult than you can imagine.
I bet that would be hard, actually.
But I'm telling you, I'm not giving up. And I've seen some, like I said, I've seen some opportunity for some success. And I'll be darned if I'm not going to Mickey Mouse myself a dragon out of a house cat before this thing is over.
All right, well, good luck to you, Don.
I can't be here.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you for considering the podcast at least.
Thank you for understanding.
Yeah, everybody, every week they ask, like, why not Don? And so I'm happy whenever we can explain it. Yeah, they understand too.
Okay.
Cool.
Have a great show, guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Wish me luck.
Oh, yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, adios.
So now it is time for corrections. Jones, please begin corrections music. Jones, how do you spell C's?
Seize.
Mm-hmm. You know what I hate? I hate I before E, except after C, and then a bunch of other dumb exceptions. It's like, why, like, Jones, I don't fault you, except that it's the name of our sponsor.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know who also corrected me on that?
Who?
Our sponsor.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. Try to rub that in.
So it's good that we're mentioning it now. I will mention it again. The very correct spelling.
Cool.
It's also one word, mine sees. Mindsize Game is the
Oh,
website.
Mindsize.
MindSeizegame.com.
Grabbing hold of a mind. The 3DS version of Dragon Quest XI development started after they started development on the PS4 version. So last week I was saying like, well,
makes sense.
they had to design both at the same time and consider each other and stuff like that. Wasn't the case. Why do you say that makes sense?
Well, I was thinking that it might be easier to adapt it after the fact, but I guess it could be harder as well if you weren't thinking about those constraints. But maybe they still would.
Yeah. And so, I was happy to, we can say that it is not compromised. You can craft the Iron Spider costume in the new Spider-Man game, so it's not pre-order exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
You just
I've
get
heard
it
that one a
immediately.
lot.
Just pop. Oh, I got that. Blood, I need you to read this.
Wait, I don't want it.
Okay, so everyone, we need to talk about pronouncing Ghost of Tsushima. Now, we
Tsushima.
know it starts with a T, okay? Here's what I ask you. If you correct me and say it's Tsushima, not Tsushima, I need you to every time you want to say wait, I don't want it, you have to hit all those T's. I dare you. Try hitting all those T's. And if you don't, if you're like, want, I'm going to say, what's want? Is that a whole different word? I don't know what you're saying. I have no context. What word are you saying? Tsushima sound identical.
I am here for pronunciation rants.
Corrections
Sign
music.
me up.
Ugh, come on.
Was what my Japanese teacher would call lazy tongue.
Lazy tongue, yeah. But nobody, we say, wait, I don't want it. You did really good on 2 of those T's, Blood.
Right.
But nobody says, wait, I don't want it.
Yeah. I do like to emphasize the Forza. That's not Forza.
Oh, yeah,
Forza.
The
definitely.
Forza.
Like pizza.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What?
Yeah, it's not pizza. You're right.
Oh yeah. That's
Italian.
that was one of the corrections one week. It's like pizza is what they said. So, another hot news week during the dog days of summer. What's after E3? We don't get a lot of news after E3. I'll get a lot of game news because most of the people dump it during E3. We're dumped on with game news. So we'll kick off with the release date announcement of a game. And normally on the podcast, I don't like to like even bring up release dates announcements. That doesn't seem like a big deal to me. It doesn't seem like it's worth talking about. We're here. But I think the story about this game is kind of interesting, so it's going to be worth discussing, and then maybe we can even slot it into the Desire Index. Talking about Darksiders 3 has a release date now, which is November 27th. Deep into November.
Deep.
Yep.
Is that after Thanksgiving?
I can check on when Thanksgiving is. Yeah. Actually, Ian, can you
It
check
kind
on when
of has to
Thanksgiving
be,
is?
right?
I thought like Thanksgiving's like the 26th, but you're right. It's like right up close to it, huh?
Yeah. So, yeah, usually publishers try to avoid that. They try to get out ahead of that, so
Black Friday.
Black Friday sales, yeah.
Yeah. Thursday,
Yeah.
November 22nd will
week
be
later.
Thanksgiving in the United States
So
this
that
week. this
probably
year.
that Tuesday afterwards, yeah.
Yep. I just don't think Darksiders 3 is in this interesting place where I don't think they expect to be a big hit.
But that actually might work in their favor because everyone's trying to cram in the beginning of the month.
Yes. Everybody's doing October and September and then, Red Dead in November. Yeah, I don't honestly think it's a bad idea to be after.
Red Dead's October.
Oh,
26th.
October. Thank
Yep.
you, Jones. Well done. What?
No, just Red Dead.
Oh, you're just always ready for it. Yeah.
Prime.
Yeah, and so I wonder, you two, what we expect, what we think that THQ Nordic expects of Darksiders 3, an action game of a franchise that kind of failed. I mean, Darksiders 2,
I don't know if I would say that.
that it failed. What would you say? What are we like? How do we say? What is Darksiders as a franchise? I'm confused by it.
Yeah, I mean, Darksiders, it's odd because it's conceptualized as a 4-part story following 4 different horsemen of the apocalypse in this completely fantastical, fictitious world that they've created a bunch of lore behind.
Yeah.
And so you played as War in the first game, which was in pretty much Earth, in the apocalypse and all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
And then in the second game you play as Death, and he's trying to clear War's name because War got all the blame for starting the apocalypse too early and stuff.
Darksiders 2, completely different game from 1.
Yeah, there's a lot of other different mechanics. There's a lot more like exploration and
random loot was a big change too.
Yeah, and it also it's it's in completely different locations. So it's kind of like dealing with there are these characters called the Makers who are kind of like building worlds and stuff like that, sort of like demigods.
Blood, are you into this franchise? You know a lot about it.
I played Darksiders 2.
Cool.
I was really into the soundtrack, so I wanted to play the game to listen to the soundtrack.
Pull them in.
Nice, yeah. They sold you on the
Jesper
soundtrack.
Kid
Yeah.
did that soundtrack.
Oh, cool.
And then, so I did feel like 2 was a bit on the long side. It kind of dragged out a bit. But yeah, what's weird is that it kind of leaves you with that cliffhanger. And because THQ went under, that's why it was like a big deal for like this story didn't get completed.
Yes.
So, and now we're going to be on the third Horseman, which is like, what is it, Fury or something like that? I forget the...
Fury's a good call. That sounds familiar.
Again, we'll point to Ian, but it's a woman. It's a red-haired woman with a crazy whip with spikes all over it, basically.
Okay.
Blades, perhaps.
But I feel like I don't know that much about 3 so far.
Yes.
Like, if they're marketing it, I'm missing it.
They had a big IGN first.
Okay.
They had one of those, but it's been silent. THQ Nordic said, hey, we're not going to do a thing at E3. They held to their word.
Yeah. They said that and Biomutant would be Gamescom.
Yes, and I expect them to blow it up at Gamescom. It is interesting to me, Jones. Let me tell you more about the way this game will be released. Because I think it says something about what type of game this is. There are 2 other special editions of this game. There's a $150 version.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. Yeah. You get 1 statue. And then there's a $400 version with more statues.
Well, like all of them?
Yes, the 3 horsemen and then the creepy guy that he like talked like this. He was in the first game.
Oh, okay.
I forget what he was, but
I didn't play
like,
the first one. So
he was like
a
little skinny ghost, and so he's the 4th statue you get.
That's lame.
What?
That for that to be the 4th, they like. I know that they haven't revealed.
The 4th horseman.
Game,
I got you.
But
yeah.
if you're gonna do
4
an all-out
statues?
4 statue thing, you need to have all 4. Just wait. Like, come on.
Yeah. So Jones, to me, when you have a $400 version of your game, you're leaning in on
Famine. Fury's in the game. And Strife, not Pestilence. Okay. Because I remember Pestilence from Red Dead.
Well, Pestilence is like the real one, and
Right.
Famine is the real one, but
Correct.
Strife and Fury, they replaced those two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Famine would be a boring video game character.
But I remember Pestilence from Red Dead because they had the 4 horses of the apocalypse
Right.
that you can unlock in Undead Nightmare.
And pestilence is not a word we get to say very often.
It's a good one. You
Yeah.
got to hit every T in Pestilence.
Yes, please do. Pestilence. Just the one, right?
Right. You got to hit it.
Jones, so to me, when I see a $400 version of a game, it's kind of like this is the only way we can make money. Or not the only way, but this is how we're going to make money. This is how we're going to profit off a game that won't be exceedingly popular, but popular among the people who will love it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get that indication as well?
Sure. Boy, I am so far outside of the need more statues
Right.
consumer racket. Like, it's just not at all speaking to me.
Yeah.
Just to have that much space anywhere. You know, I have a studio in my backyard, so like that's one thing. But I just, yeah, I even like the cyberpunk thing. Like when I went to go see Cyberpunk at E3, and they were like, "Oh, don't forget your statue." I'm like, "I'm fine. It's cool. It's a neat design, and kudos." Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody would enjoy that, but like, I'm not going to carry that around the rest of E3.
The main reason I grabbed that statue is because I was sure that there was something inside, and there was. It was like the little barcode for the press kit, so I could get assets and stuff for
sneaky
thumbnails.
boy.
Doing work,
Yeah.
So.
grabbing the
A
statue.
little barcode in there.
Yeah, it's got to be a weird position that they find themselves in because they're picking up this franchise from a publisher that could not, make it popular even off of the, coming off the heels of the first game. And so you have to wonder, how desperate they are. If this is just, as you were suggesting, a desperation, we got to make money somehow, and maybe we'll just milk our biggest fans dry, from them spending just this obscene amount of money on this. Or if they're just not reading their community and... potentially, like, maybe we'll get we're here talking about it. Maybe we'll get a headline out of this. Maybe some people will look at that and just buy it just purely because it's an anomaly. It's just bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there is something appealing about the character designs. They are unique. They are comic book-like. You know what I mean? I think that...
Joe Mads, right?
Oh, is the artist?
Yeah.
Cool.
Same guy as Battle Chasers Night War.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The designs are very similar, yeah.
So I could see where
Between those two games.
I could see why they'd be appealing statues. More, you know what I mean, like more appealing than like a Battlefield character. You know what I mean? They are
Right.
distinct. But yeah, I do feel like this is the biggest game THQ Nordic has published. It will be, right? I feel like this is really like the challenge for them. This is like, it's not sink or swim, right? But it's like, let's see if you can do this. Let's see if you can pull this off.
Yeah, and they've been doing a lot to push the first 2 games.
Wait, the first game as well?
Yeah.
So there was what? Darksiders 2 something something edition. What was it called?
That's the definitive.
Deathfinitive, yes.
And then there was a name for the Darksiders 1 remaster as well. But yeah, but I think the original Darksiders is also on Games Pass on Xbox.
Got you. Sure.
And they had a lot of Steam sales and stuff like that. So they're just really trying to get that fan base built up because I think it is one of those things where they grabbed those franchises because they do believe that they're really good games and they want to keep that team making them.
Yeah, I'm nervous for it. I'm nervous for it even at the end of November. We need to rank this though. We need to slot this into our desire index.
It's tricky.
Pre Gamescom, we'll probably reassess this after Gamescom.
Yeah.
But right now, Darksiders 3, we need to put it in a number between 1 and 24. Where does that belong in our desire index? Let me throw out a game.
Okay.
Do you desire this game, Darksiders 3, more than Fallout 76?
Personally, yeah.
It's about personally. You really do?
Yeah.
Nice. Jones?
No.
Oh, okay. We're at an impasse here.
I don't know if I have any desire for Darksiders. I think
like a cool action adventure game where you get to beat people up?
I think the game that tempted me more than anything was the first Darksiders. Like when I saw that, I'm like, wow, this looks really interesting. And people are saying it's, not necessarily like a Zelda clone, but it hits a lot of those notes.
It's very Zelda-like,
and so it's
yes.
neat to see something of this like traditional adventure game, which typically has kind of like, younger, kind of like flightier characters, they're a little more lighter on their feet, and then you have this like Gears big dude coming in, and so I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I would love to just knock some enemies around and play as that character. But from what I hear, these are not short games. Like these are pretty beefy, big long playthrough games, and so I think that's just what kept me away from it, not necessarily turned me off. And then by the time I got to Darksiders 2, I was like, well, I'd really like to play the first game before I got into 2, and by now it's just not a franchise I'm caught up on or that interested in.
No, Jones, I love hearing this stuff.
I felt like
so when you talk about desire, it's
I know.
tough,
I
'cause
like what the
almost
desire
nil,
index
like,
pulls out of people. Yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting.
I
to hear
felt
all
like
that.
I was able to jump into 2 pretty well without needing to go back to the first one.
Clearly, Blood knows all the characters' names and
Well, Brad also just wrote the Don't Skip, so it's a little fresh in my...
which I cut, so I got a little
Don't
refresher
Scout.
on that. Yeah,
Cool.
heard the music, loved it.
Yeah, I basically just grabbed that whole soundtrack and threw it in the folder when it...
Cool. Okay, so I don't know, Blood. Do you desire it more than Skull and Bones?
Yeah.
So I wonder if we just slot it in between Fallout 76 and Skull and Bones. Jones, are you willing to go that?
I'm
Right
okay.
there?
I know Ian is not. I know Ian's gonna be upset about that.
I don't understand why everybody is so down on Skull and Bones. It looks
I'm not down on
fun.
Skull and
I'm not
Bones.
down
They're
on
just
Skull and Bones.
excited about Darksiders 3.
Yeah, I mean Skull and Bones is 16, but this is a stacked list. Where would you put Skull and Bones?
I put it at.
He's making his own
Okay,
list
all
now.
right.
I put it at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 or 9.
No. Skull and Bones is not top 10. I just simply won't allow it.
It's 9.
Not on this podcast.
Wow.
My list is pretty amazing.
I want to talk about your list at the end of the podcast. Okay, Gears 5. Do we desire this game more than Gears 5?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think that's where it is then. Okay, all right, we're putting this above Gears 5.
So weird.
Yeah, it is weird, right? That's our new number 17.
I don't know why it's that weird. I mean, Gears 5 will, have a little bit more of a wow factor in the graphics department, but I mean, Darksiders doesn't really have to worry about competing with that because it does have such a distinctive art style.
And
Yeah,
there was a roadmap laid out for this series, this 4-game
Yes.
series. So like,
Yeah.
I am curious, even though I have not played any of it, to see how this kind of stuff wraps up.
Yeah.
Well, we're kind of waiting to see that Gears 5 trailer to be like, who are we playing? Where are we going now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's a story about THQ Nordic more than anything to me. Like it's a story of I just want them to succeed. I want this whole plan to work out. I want it to make sense for an eccentric billionaire to buy up all of these things and make the studios work. And like I want this to work. I really want Darksiders 3 to work. Happy
Then
to have
buy
it number
those
17.
statues, Kyle.
I know. I'm gonna
It's
have to buy
real
a
simple.
$400 version. Again, this is not a headline to me, but it was a headline. You know what I mean? I go to GameInformer.com/news. I just look at headlines. It's something that might be worth talking. We'll see how much we can mine from this. I'm curious about your first reactions panel. And then if it's just a decisive thing, we'll move on. Nintendo had its investor meetings this week. They do a Q&A still, which is so funny. Anybody who owns any stock can just ask a stupid question. And many of them are stupid if you read through the transcripts.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about the ease of porting basically mobile games. Like mobile devices have a ton of games. Wouldn't it be easy to port a bunch of games to Switch? And so in response, Nintendo's licensing head, Susumu Tanaka, said, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I set this up wrong. The person says, indie games are hot right now. I mischaracterized the question. It was like indie games are really hot right now. Everybody's talking about indie games. How easy is it to bring it to your platform? Okay. Okay. So Susumu Tanaka says, some of the indie games already released have gone on to become million sellers worldwide. In the future, we are looking to release around 20 to 30 indie games on Nintendo Switch per week. And we definitely expect to see some great games among them.
Good wording. A+.
Oh my goodness! And
Wow.
again, this is official translation from Nintendo. So yeah, that's what got the headline. Is Nintendo hopes to someday put out 20 to 30 indie games a week.
Wow.
That's too much, right?
Yeah, it feels like too much.
20 seems like too much. 20 to 30. There's just, I mean, obviously, like in the most beautiful consumer market, yeah, there would be 20 games to pick from, so you could really pick like your favorite thing.
Yeah.
But it just sounds like some of those are going to be extremely obscure if they're able to hit that number.
I mean, there's already quite a bit of obscurity on their lists. I mean, let me see if I can pull up
Oh, the eShop right now?
the eShop. Well, not the eShop itself, but like the list they put out last week.
Oh yeah, it gets,
And we'll see
it
how
gets
many
weird,
games
man.
you actually recognize off of this.
It gets very weird.
Well, and are they like counting all the Neo Geo re-releases as indie games? You know?
I don't believe so, because using the phrase indie games inside of this description,
Right.
Yeah.
2030, I was thinking about it on the drive over. I was thinking about, like, there's not ever going to be 20 to 30 movies coming out a week, right? There's not ever
Right.
going to be 20 to 30 TV shows coming out a week, but there are 30 different TV shows, I guess. They're not new, you know what I mean? But total there are. So yeah, every week doesn't, yeah. There could not be 20 to 30 new TV shows every single week. And so it's just like video games are in this weird spot where the most expensive video games are more expensive than the most expensive TV shows, right? Video games can be incredibly expensive, but they can also be incredibly cheap. People can self-publish and get on these platforms, be one of those 20 to 30 games. And I just don't know if that's a problem or not.
There were 29 last week.
29 games.
29 games altogether.
That's too much.
So we had Shining Resonance Refrain, which is not an indie game. That's Sega.
Don't do them all, Blood. Give me highlights. Give me the weird
Well,
ones.
I mean, these are on the top. These are the highlights
Oh,
from
okay.
Nintendo.
Okay, great.
Pocket Rumble. I don't even know what that is.
That's the 2D fighting game.
Yes.
With
I heard-
big chunky
I
sprites.
heard it's actually kind of good.
Okay.
From
Pocket
some
Rumble?
article
Um,
about it that I didn't read.
There was the port of the remake of Another World. The same guys that did like Windjammers and stuff.
Yeah.
Put that out.
the port of the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another World is like Skyrim. It's been on like every platform,
Yeah.
and I've never.
And
played
then like a lot of these, the Lions song I know just because they sent a copy to us.
That game looks cool.
But then like a lot of these Zeus Quest remastered Penguin Hop, like
Penguin.
Oh,
They
those
got
are also
Penguin
on
Hop?
3DS.
They got Penguin Hop.
They got Penguin Hop.
Finally!
Sick.
Penguin Hop's on 3DS. But Yuso is the last one that's on Switch.
Yeah. So to me,
But yeah, a lot of these I just don't know.
I don't get the point of trying to aspire to the App Store, to aspire to what Steam is doing, other than like those Steam and the App Store makes a lot of money. I guess that is what Nintendo is saying here. Is like, oh, we want to make money like they make money. We want that 30%. We don't know how much Nintendo makes off digital sales. We want that. Can you foresee this happening? In a year from now, we'll be talking about 20 to 30 indie games coming out.
It looks like it's almost happening right now.
We're almost there. We had to talk about a couple of 3DS games, but you're right. Those will dry out. Is that too much, Blood, or is this like cool? Is this a fine system?
It sounds like too much to me for the majority of indie games, but I feel like they've had a lot already, and it seems like somehow or another, like the cream of the crop sort of race at the top.
Yeah,
whether it's like being the thing that Nintendo highlights at the top, or just their own marketing teams or word of mouth from games coming from other platforms.
Sure,
like Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's blowing up.
$250,000, copies in its first week.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy sales for Hollow Knight. Yeah, like obviously you're right. On the Switch, yeah, just on the Switch alone. So you're right, Blood. That things do rise. Yeah, I don't know, like about my feelings about this, Jones. If it devalues games, do games get devalued if they're surrounded by hundreds of?
It's kind of a catch-22 because on one end you're like, the more games come out per week, the more games are included. Like if we were like, nah, it's too many, just make 10, then you just cut 10 to 20 games that could possibly get a launch on Switch and could possibly blow up. Even though I think per week, there's probably only one or two big releases on any console that people will generally be talking about that will like do many more sales, much more sales, whatever. Compared to their these other challengers in this giant group. But at the same time, it's got to feel kind of icky that that's your shot. That you're like, oh, I finally got on Switch, and then you're being launched right along these 29 other games. You're just like, there's no way.
Right.
Yeah.
No way I can
It's
compete.
very hard to succeed on Steam right now. Steam's like a mess. Yeah.
I'm really just hoping to hook that one streamer who's super excited about it, and they make a big deal about it and show it off to other people.
But at the same time, it does feel a little weird to like say, well, Nintendo should just tell, like, what are they going to tell them? Like, we're just going to delay your game until, there's the 15 slots, and then they get this weird backlog, or they discourage people from putting games out.
Well, I think
in a way, it's sort of up to like the people making the games.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Right. I do wonder if the market will right itself. People are losing money developing games, and we presume they do it because they love it more than they want to get rich. Because it is so hard to succeed on Steam right now. It's so hard to succeed as an independent game developer right now. And so you're right, Blood. I wonder how sustainable it is. I wonder if people can keep losing money making games. It kind of ties into my fears for THQ Nordic. But yeah, I guess what Nintendo would do if they want to not release that much is they would raise their standards and like make you spend more money to apply. You know what I mean? Just as like a barrier of entry. I think that's typically what you would do. I don't know if that's a good idea. I think it's a bad idea, right?
I think it's the other thing that's weird about this announcement, and this might be lost in translation, or this might just be the way he said it, having to answer so many questions like he might not have been. Their game might not have been that sharp, but just to be like, yeah, we're gonna have a lot of them, and maybe they suck. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that's not really
some
encouraging.
Of them are great games. Yeah.
They're just kind of like throwing a bunch of crap at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah,
and not necessarily being confident that there's really on any given week there's gonna be something in there that you would value as much as the cool thing that came out.
It's nuts, man.
We're not gonna get a Hollow Knight every week, basically.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, like again, talking about things rising to the top, like Nintendo doesn't put too many of these low quality games. Like I said, like the majority of this list that I read from last week, I don't recognize these games. I haven't heard of these games. So like Nintendo in a way is sort of limiting the appeal by saying like, okay, these are the games that we want you to be interested in, and putting the spotlight on things that they think are worthwhile.
And I could see, like, just personally, one announcement, I didn't pick it up again on Switch, but I played it on PC, is I loved the Final Station, which is post-apocalyptic game. You're managing a train going through this world that's been,
it's like 2D
has
pixel
once
art,
been
right?
decimated by aliens and might possibly come back, and, it's like they're slowly creeping back in, and you just have to go station by station by station, and they get creepier and less occupied by normal people as you go through this. And there's this interesting, kind of like I have not played SteamWorld Heist, but it has that kind of aiming mechanic.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little gem, and I really like that. And so when that came to Switch, I was like, oh, that's so smart. People should really check that out. And so, for us who are not necessarily familiar with all of these games, there might be that one, that one streamer, that one person who's got a YouTube channel out there who's like, oh, finally, this is my indie game, my PC game, my Steam darling that is finally getting the recognition it deserves, hopefully.
Yeah, man, I think about that. Go ahead, Ian.
You know what's on Switch that's real good that people should play?
Tell us.
SteamWorld Heist.
It's on Switch. I think about it like movies, like movies are eternal. Movies you watch for years and years and years and years, and it just feel like sometimes we just dump games. Just like, oh yeah, I played that already, or it's old, I'm not interested. And so like I just like, it's weird. My heart's in a whole different place in my brain on this issue.
Sure, but there's tons of movies.
Indie movies get dumped too, don't worry.
Yeah.
Well, and also
Don't fear, Kyle.
You're right.
Digital release changes the thing, because like Netflix is puking out garbage like left and right, like literally all the time.
Ian, do you ever go through, I just did this last night, their original series, and it's like 100.
Yeah, they have so many.
They have like 100. It's ridiculous how many series they have.
I was reading about all the sci-fi they've put out recently, and it's like 10 of them, and 1 was good. All the rest have like rotten scores or whatever, but like very, very like 2% kind of scores,
Yeah.
And they don't care. Because it's like niche,
They're making money,
Amazon Prime too is a lot of really crazy stuff.
Yeah.
If you like found footage horror films, have at it. There's like 60 of them.
Crackle has original series. Crackle. Y'all hear that? It sounds like it's podcast halftime.
I thought it was a crackle for a second. The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of July. Sweet Justice, a sound design company from the southern shores of the UK. They've worked on some of the biggest AAA titles, the most refreshing indie titles, and collaborated with the best development teams in the world. El Fanis. iKeyless. iKeyless.com is proud to sponsor Easy Allies. If you need a replacement car key or remote, use offer code EASYA at checkout for free shipping and 30% off of your order. Mango. Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure currently in development at Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. Mind Seas, a 2D action-adventure game set in a sci-fi universe where you must explore untamed planets and stop a mysterious organization that stole the mind of your daughter. Go to mindseasgame.com to support the development and download a free demo. And our mega sponsor, Hoglaw Business Law Firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. And now, that good business lawyer has a YouTube channel, one with one video Ian Hink has called really well written, and an overall number of videos which Kyle Bossman has called more than 2. Check it out at youtube.com/HOEG Law. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors.
You know what we didn't do?
Let's do it right now. It's not too late.
Okay.
The objective is from Ian Bradburn. Be less materialistic by the end of the podcast. And I have seen a lot
I want those statues.
I know, I've seen a lot of materialism so far, but it's just for the rest of this podcast.
Right. Okay,
just for the rest of this podcast.
Okay. All right.
Bloodworth, would you like to take on this objective?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So, Bloodworth, I feel like you already start off not very materialistic. You have to be less materialistic than you are right now, just to be clear.
Okay.
All right. Jones?
I can't. I'm too scared.
Okay.
I'm the Toys to Life guy. I can't do it.
Yeah, understood. Ian, would you like to take on this objective?
Sure.
Okay. Again, I feel like you're not very materialistic.
Not really.
Materialistic.
When it comes to synths, I covet those generally, but that's about it.
So what I'm going to need from you by the end of this podcast is to covet your synths less.
I'll try.
Okay. Covet thy synths. So we have a lot
check
of...
in with him and he's on his phone like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm looking up synths.
I can't help myself.
My job.
I learned it from you. I covet them. We have a lot of fun games to play in Love and Respect, so I don't want to spend too much time on the Desire Index, but my list of games I need to slot in still is huge. We have a lot of games yet to talk about. Bloodworth took a peek at my list of games yet to be slotted in and said, I want to talk about Forza Horizon 4.
Yep.
Why?
I think Forza Horizon 3 is one of my favorite racing games, period.
Of all time.
Yeah, of
All
all
right.
time.
All right. Blood Desire Index, timeout. Taking a side step. And there are only 2 games on this list. F-Zero GX
What?
and Forza Horizon 3. What's number 1 and what's number 2?
Probably F-Zero.
Oh, okay. Okay. Just so we understand. Okay.
Yeah.
We got some context now. Okay.
All
Okay.
these years, the soul still burns.
It's just one of those
Yeah.
things that has, like, Forza Horizon 4 is going to better Forza Horizon 3.
Guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
It's
What's
a
going
lock.
to better F-Zero? So far we don't know.
Got you. Sure.
Um,
But so you just have complete confidence
pretty
that this will
materialistic of
be. Oh yeah. Uh-oh, Blood, you're slipping. You sounded materialistic.
I'm trolling.
Why should I honestly, like, to me, it's a genre game. Do you know what I mean? To me, it's a game that's like people who like racing games will play it, and then people who don't won't. And I probably won't play this, but I do want to put it in the Desire Index. I want to know how desired this game is. How do you explain this game to me, Blood?
well, one thing I'll say is not just being a car game, but I do think these games have some of the best open world design. Like
There we go. There's something. What do you mean by that?
Because you can still go out and discover things. You can drive around and find little playgrounds and things that you otherwise wouldn't.
What is a playground? Oh, you mean like an actual playground?
Yeah, like places where you can jump and do stunts and things like that. And
Cool.
And they
So not like an actual playground, like a car playground.
yeah, like a car
Gotcha.
playground.
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
And with 4, they're doing this interesting thing with seasons, which I still don't know how this is going to work in the review environment. We may end up reviewing it later just to see how it all pans out, because they showed the seasons in the press conference. But what they told us is that each season will be like a real world week. Like you'll be in winter for a week, and then they'll
Globally.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
And they'll flip the switch, and then you'll be in spring, and you'll do that for a week. And with that, they're going to be constantly adding in new events. Now, that could mean something as boring as like a race that we didn't have before. It could be something more substantial. But it's interesting to think about that. Like, you want to play this winter because there's some event in there that won't be around next winter.
Yeah.
And the way that changes, like they showed things where you can drive across lakes when it's icy. In the spring, there's going to be more thunderstorms and that kind of thing.
Or closed seasons though, that like areas are unlocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're making it now so that you're not just driving with drivatars, but there'll be other people out in the open world, and they're thinking through a lot of those like pinch points that make online open world driving games kind of a pain in the butt.
What's a pinch point?
Like some guy that just wants to ram you all the time.
Oh yeah, that's
And-
me.
Yeah, and so what they've done is they've created this system of what they call auto ghosting. So if that guy's not in your group, if that's not one of your friends, they're just gonna drive right through you. And so you can pause the
Oh.
game. You can take photos without having to worry about being in the middle of the road and get your perfect shot and not get banged in the back of your rear bumper.
Cool.
And you don't have to worry about getting some, like the Crew 2 does this. If you sit around too long or your connection goes out, even Onrush does this too. Bounce back to the front, back to the title menu. And Forza Horizon 4, they're not going to do that.
Because it's an open world. You should explore.
You're just going to go, like, it'll take you offline. You'll see drivatars instead of people. And then when the connection comes back, you'll get the people back.
So it's not online only.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Blood, do you desire this game more than Anthem?
Yes.
Jones?
No.
Oh no, we got another impasse. Okay, all right.
But where's Anthem? What number is Anthem at?
Anthem is 13, basically in the middle of our list.
Because it's not a matter of what I desire. I desire Blood to have. We don't have a lot of racing games on there, so I think it's.
Yeah, right now
You
the
know.
only thing is Team Sonic Racing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's our only other racing
This should
game.
be ahead of Team Sonic Racing. That is for
Easily.
sure.
Team Sonic Racing is number 19 right
There
now.
we
Don't
go.
worry about it,
Okay,
Team Sonic
okay,
Racing.
good.
So I guess where it would land there would be right after Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And these two games are actually very similar to me in that they seem like blocks. They seem like they're going to be very good games. We know it. I don't know how many surprises they have left. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think they're kind of close. Jones, Anthem is not a lock.
I am tempted to check out Forza because I'm playing the Crew 2 right now and enjoying it, but
Whoa.
Forza looks so much better than the Crew 2. It is not even funny. I definitely I had that moment where I was driving around and I was like, wow, yeah, Forza's a lot pretty good in this game. It's nice. I'm in the Grand Canyon, sure, but
you can fly.
Yeah. But just from what we saw when you brought that footage back, from E3, that's absolutely gorgeous. So
I have a quick question about Crew 2. How often does the world unfold?
Oh, very rarely.
Yeah, 6 times.
Oh, so it's not like a gameplay element.
Right. It's only there's a few kind of milestone events that you do as you rank up.
Boy, and they even stopped doing that around the third one of those.
Yeah,
I just did the 5th one, and
they don't really do the world folding anymore.
There's no world folding.
Bummer.
Yeah, it's kind of like at the beginning of the game thing, just to.
What is world folding?
It doesn't really make sense.
I
Kind of like
should
that
say-
Inception,
like Inception? Like
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
like Inception?
Yeah.
What?
They had it in the first trailer that they showed, where you're in a plane, and then it's now we're gonna switch to the boat, and for whatever. It doesn't. I don't even know why they did it. It's just some
either.
weird. They could. So that's why they added that to that game. It does not functionally make any sense.
You don't like boat
they don't
racing?
address it. The announcer's not like, whoa, New York's just right to your left there. Oh, now it's flat. Weird.
Yeah, it's basically like a fancy camera transition.
Oh, so it's just like a story style. Got it. Okay. Yeah, because the story's still grounded, right? It's about this guy who's just perfect at every
Yeah.
sport.
Because
It's not a story. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
a bunch of people talking to you about racing and yeah.
So here's the thing. I don't know who at Easy Allies is reviewing Anthem, and we don't have a release date for Anthem, right?
We have February 2019.
Okay. I don't know necessarily what I'm going to be doing in February. I don't know. I'm either going to invest some time in Anthem and check that stuff out, or I won't.
February 22nd, 2019.
But I will
Thank you.
most likely check out Forza because I got the Game Pass. So I will at least download that game and play it and check it out. Whereas I might not check out Anthem when it comes out. I might be just busy doing something else, working on some project or playing another game.
You're on
I
Game
don't
Pass,
know.
dude?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When did you take the plunge on Game Pass?
Before State of Decay, I think. I
Nice.
can't remember what it was that I was like, well, I'm going to buy this game. Sea of Thieves. Because I was like, well, I want Sea of Thieves. I might as well check this out. And just from a consumer perspective, I'm curious to see how much that's worth and if that's something that
Sure.
I'm
So you played
happy
State of
to do.
Decay too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so that was just a part of Game Pass for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. I did not know that.
2 games. That's your money's worth.
So far.
Yeah.
So, Jones, what do you think? Do we convince you to put it at number 13? Forza Horizon 4?
Because I'm confident that I will play that, I will give Blood is passionate about it.
Okay.
I've really acquiesced to the panel, to the guests on each podcast for what they want included, because I definitely want this to speak from all of us.
I don't want
you
that,
know?
Jones. I wanted to speak to you. And I'm actually before
There's
we,
no way. There's no
before
way
we
this
add
list
another
is going to
game-
speak to everybody.
before-
Everybody disagrees with this.
You're
I
right.
took one look at it and thought this was crazy. Red Dead would be number 1 for me if it was my own personal list. Ian's got his own list that he's probably
Jones.
writing right at this very moment.
Brad is not here this week.
Right?
I want to move up Red Dead. I want
Ahead
to
of-
move it up.
Oh, because Kingdom Hearts is 3.
I had a Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do a little Kingdom Hearts
that
shuffle.
definitely fits my taste more.
It's
yeah.
happening. Can we?
Sure.
Jones, you cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Woo-woo.
Red Dead
Yeah.
Redemption number 3 now.
Pew, pew, pew.
What do we do with? Is The Last of Us Part 2 still number 2?
Ugh.
Do you still desire that game more than Red Dead Redemption, Jones?
Well, depends on who you ask. It potentially will be a better game.
I'm asking you, dude.
According to game
I wanna
trailers,
hear your
Last of Us
arguments.
is a better game than GTA 5.
Oh,
So, you just get,
Boy,
here we are again.
Jones, I'm so glad those games are coming out on different years. Because otherwise, that would be the GOTY debate that tears us down again. We still haven't recovered from that completely. Just to be clear, at game trailers, what year was that? 2012?
2013. It's been 5 years since GTA came out, I think.
Okay, so GTA 5 was up against The Last of Us
And lost.
and lost.
Quickly.
Quickly, was it?
I was not even allowed to debate. I was the only person in the room that voted for GTA 5. And I was not really around. I don't want to get into the details.
No, I wanna hear these
It's a long
details.
story. I was like back in the GT days, I was not that involved in GOTYs. I'd come
Oh,
in,
right. I
I'd come in
didn't
and I'd do
vote
my
either,
big
yeah.
trailer presentation. I'd be like, here are the best trailers for the year. As far as I'm concerned, we'd all watch them and pick. And every now and then I would pop in on action adventure if I'd played 3 or 4 of the nominees and I wanted to speak to that. But I was like, let me know, ring my bell when it's time to talk about GOTYs. And I came in and I was like, all right. And they were like, let's put it to a vote first. And everyone voted for Last of Us. And they were like, well, that's it. Did you want to say something, Jones? And I was like, yeah. I kind of wanted to make my case.
You crumple up your speech and toss it.
I wonder if that GIF we made is still like just pumping out the numbers. Remember when you like backhanded
the mime? Yeah.
And it blew up on
Smacks
Tumblr?
the mime.
Yeah.
People love that.
I had this weird, Viacom, they had this weird summer project thing where like, take a day to do something that's not your job, that you're not good at all. And it's like, okay, I'll build a game trailers Tumblr page. And that's what I did for a summer.
And it was kind of a good Tumblr page, Blood.
Cool, thanks.
As far as Tumblr pages go, primo. I don't know how valuable they are today. All right, so yeah, Blood, we have Resident Evil 2 Remake #1.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not my most desired, but I can see it. Like, it's definitely up there.
Jones?
Particularly as somebody who hasn't actually, like, that's a gap for me.
You never played that
2.
game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've, of course, seen Huber play it a billion times, but
So when you see that game, it doesn't light your belly up.
I'm still excited for it, but it's not, like, the #1. But at the same time, I don't know what the #1 is for me right now.
Sure.
Looking through the list.
All you can know is which one you're is more desirable to you or less desirable to you. And it sounds like, Blood, Last of Us Part 2 might be more desirable than Resident Evil 2. The smirk.
He's tired.
No, because
not your smirk. Bossman
Jones,
smirk.
I
He's
feel
been
like
waiting for this.
I feel like this is the week that this whole scheme is like working.
Okay.
Because what I want, Blood, is I want the people next week to pop in and like, what? Come on, how did that happen? By the way, Blood, you have a power. You're allowed to say everyone shut up. I wonder if you'll ever use this.
What?
You can say everyone shut up, and you can place a game anywhere you want on the Desire Index outside of the top 5. And it is immovable except for somebody else's everybody shut up.
Okay.
Which, Jones, you have again.
Right. Which is unfair.
The cool off is
that I've been
filled
given
in.
that so many times. I've only used it once.
So, Jones, where do you stand? Do you think it's right? Resident Evil 2, Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead Redemption 2. Is that right?
It doesn't turn itself over in my stomach because I think, personally, I think shots from Rockstar. I think Red Dead Redemption looks really great. We've seen 3 really cool trailers. I'm still waiting for that thing that proves that Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to do something that is going to shock people.
Fair.
I think
Fair.
I think those trailers came along and you're like, oh, look at that, it's gorgeous. Wow, it's got great writing. Okay, cool. It's in the Old West. Whereas like
still writing on last game,
that 10-minute demo from Last of Us really, really blew me away. And I still, on this date, cannot believe Resident Evil 2 exists. That's happening.
Fair, Jones.
That
fair.
that not only are we getting that remake, it looks that good. They're messing with the story as much as they are. I'm still just in disbelief.
Okay.
So I will allow those
Still
2
at the top.
games to bump that out.
Okay. Blood saw the list. He brought up another game, another unexpected game. I did not expect him to say, I want to talk about this game. And that is Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah. That turned me around at E3.
The demo you played at E3 changed you from probably not interested at all
Right.
to I want to play this video game.
Yeah.
Whoa. Was the demo the cool one that Jones talks about that he played once, but like wasn't the demo that was shown?
Well, I saw a demo at the
That's
pre
the
at the,
one.
the
Yeah,
pre E3
yeah.
thing. I saw the
It's
demo with her in the
probably the same
sandals
one.
and walking around. But you played that.
Yes.
Cool.
But I didn't play the village part. I played the later part with the stealth in the jungle.
Got it.
The part that was during this scene during the Square Enix press conference?
I don't think it was the exact same section.
Okay.
But a lot of the same mechanics were
Yeah,
in
because
there.
that's what's killing me is like Jones keeps talking about this cool stuff that they still haven't shown of Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I don't think that they put out any video of the town.
Yeah.
The town is massive. The town
think-
is like crazy.
I think we've had glimpses of it, but yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't had that cool, like, let's chill out and, like, do the things that this town wants us to do.
Like, yeah, think about something that's very much along the same lines of like one of the towns in, say, like Assassin's Creed or The Witcher 3.
Those Assassin's Creed towns are huge.
Yeah.
This is a huge town?
This is a huge town. Like, just like horizontally and vertically because it's in the mountains. They've thought through, like, they've done a lot of research and talked to, like, historians for, like, okay, if there was, some undiscovered village, tribal village out there, in this country, like what would it look like? And they've done a lot to make it authentic and to have the types of like different merchants and things that you would see there, like different occupations, different roles that people would play in the city, and then there's also like actual shops, and
where you can buy gear, right?
Yeah.
For Lara to take off on her next mission or whatever.
Yeah,
What
you
kind of gear would you
branch-
get for her?
You branch out into different directions. You get you like do little side quests, like with kids. You get rumors.
What's a kid side quest?
I'm trying to remember the exact.
Tell me if it seemed annoying or not. Is it like, I lost my shoe? Can you help me find my shoe?
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. It didn't seem annoying.
Okay.
But I guess there's definitely a potential for things to get annoying.
Sure.
But yeah, the idea that you could go around. Oh, another thing that was interesting that they said is, I think that you can either listen to the characters speaking in English, or you can listen to them in their native language with subtitles.
Huh. Jones, what are you picking?
Native language for sure.
I know you're that kind of
with
guy.
all that work, yeah.
I mean, that's a hard call. I think I just like being able to listen to a game without having to read the text on the bottom of the screen. But yeah, that's cool. It's cool the option is there.
Yeah, so there's definitely some split on certain things. You know, they're still a little bit melodramatic in the beginning part that we played, and yeah, I just like, especially after the last game's story, like that part I'm hesitant on, but I think that the exploration in the world feels like there's a lot more going on than there ever has been.
Yeah.
And I think that there are, this is Eidos Montreal, who's done the Deus Ex games, which I loved. So yeah, I have high hopes for what the world building is going to be like.
It's funny. It's September 14th. We're going to be playing a lot of Spider-Man and a lot of Dragon Quest at that time.
Yeah, that is tough.
It is going to be. Oh, hello, Sophie. Yeah, it's going to be hard for the game. I don't know. I don't know how popular Tomb Raider is. It's the weirdest thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's so complicated because the second game was the Xbox exclusive at the time when it launched.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how powerful the modern Tomb Raider franchise is. Yeah, this is a weird one. I'm interested to know where you would want to slot it, Blood. We put in Darksiders 3. Would you put it above Darksiders 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
would,
I think that's fair, right? But then Skull and Bones, you put it above Skull and Bones?
Yeah.
Okay. Jones, you still following? You okay with this?
Sure.
Okay. It might get a little more complicated because above that is Fallout 76. Do we desire Shadow the Tomb Raider more than Fallout 76?
I don't have a lot of desire for Fallout 76 yet. I have to still kind of get really sold on that concept.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you, Blood. You want to bump down Fallout 76 while we're here?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sounds like you don't like that.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
We're doing it.
No, I'm just speaking.
We're
as
doing
Kyle.
it, Jones. It's beneath Skull and Bones now.
What?
Make a case.
It's
like
too
how
hot
this-
to make a case.
This list is just Kyle forcing everyone to do what he wants.
Well, what did we expect,
Yeah,
really?
right.
You know what I mean? Come on.
This is what this whole podcast
It's
is about.
met my expectations.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't think. Can you imagine seriously like Bethesda like showing up at work the next day? Oh, you heard what happened yesterday, right? we dropped.
They bumped us
below
down.
Skull and Bones. Yeah, we're below Skull and Bones now. Damn it!
They have a tracker for the Easy Eyes Desire Index. Like it's just like always ticking.
Another guy comes in the room, sees them being sad. No, you know.
Did it happen? Where are we?
I think Fallout 76.
I don't want to hear the details. Just give me a number.
It's one of those games where I think I have to put hands on it to like really cement like what.
Jones, there's so much
Make
that
that
could go
work.
wrong with Fallout 76. What could go right?
But that's part of the desires.
So it's a living game. Seeing when stuff
train
goes
wreck.
wrong with that game, they can change it. Whereas like that Shadow ships, baby, and it's that game.
But at the same time, I feel like Skull and Bones is probably higher than some of the other things in there that I would be interested in. So.
How dare you put Skull and Bones above Smash Bros? How dare you even try?
What? No.
So Smash Bros is
no,
next?
I mean it's higher.
Smash Bros is 12.
Skull and Bones should be lower. Is what I'm saying.
Skull and Bones. Oh, you think it should sink beneath Darksiders 3 and Gears?
Yeah.
Jones is not willing to let that happen. I think it makes sense. Putting Darksiders 3 above Skull and Bones.
Sure.
Like after Gamescom, maybe Blood, but for now, like how can we really desire Darksiders 3 that much? They just haven't given us that much.
Yeah.
IGN first. How are we supposed to desire this?
It's on their desire index.
Yeah, exactly.
boy.
By the way, from what I've seen, it looks cool, the combat.
Yeah?
Yeah. It actually looks like a cool-looking fighting system. Yeah, I don't know. This one's really hard for me to play, to be honest, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, because I think we all have this kind of timid enthusiasm for it.
Right.
Yeah. No one's like angry at the first 2 games.
Right.
You know, they just, it feels like something with Lara's pedigree. To me, it feels like so much of the talk from Square and from the companies that are, you know, marketing this game is just like so forced. You know, it's just like, it seems like one of those franchises that when it's always mentioned, it's like, well, it's this gigantic franchise. And it's like, it's gigantic because you make good games. It's not gigantic by default. You know, you got to prove to me. And like, I think that's kind of where we are after E3 is that we are starting to see some really interesting things. But out of the gate, man, there's still just this shadow looming over this game of this character study they're doing with her that I thought we were past. I just thought we were. This sounds like what the second game should have been. I don't remember what the plot was from the second game. I didn't play it, but
Become the Tomb Raider.
it's right. But it sounds like her being, you know, kind of presumptuous and her wanting to, you know, get out there and prove herself, making a mistake and then having to pay for that. Seems like that second game seems like a weird thing to kind of end this trilogy on.
Yeah.
If it's a trilogy or if they're going to get a fourth.
Well, I
So-
think this is a trilogy of a character arc, and then what they'll do after this that they'll think that differentiated, I'm not sure.
So yeah, not a hit of Smash Brothers, but
I'm stuck on Fallout 76. I want to put it above or beneath Fallout 76. Because above Fallout 76 is Halo Infinite.
Right.
And beneath Fallout 76 is Skull and Bones. Like, this is a really interesting part of the index. It's a really weird spot.
Yeah.
How is
I
Skull
mean,
and Bones...
Halo is weird because I don't know
I
anything
gotta
about
put
what
it
this
behind
game
Fallout
is.
76. You can nuke people in that game. Come on, you know, like it's just so weird.
It's
and
a new
interesting.
thing. It's a
It's
new
so
thing.
interesting.
Yeah.
you know, and kind of like what the argument that you're making now, Blood, is kind of like, despite the attitude we've had so far with Shadow, here's some cool stuff. You know, we finally got to see some interesting things. I'm curious to see how that plans out. And there is that skeptic to me. Maybe it's the heat, maybe it's the fatigue, but to hear you being like, you can get quests from a kid, you're like, all right. It's just a weird like selling point. I know that it's cool because I have seen it, you know, that the culture that you're going through, just the fact that she's wearing something different, I think is interesting in those moments because she's like trying to adapt to this community. And I think it's interesting too because if you were to go into a foreign land and try to pillage it, you know, to go and find these treasures, it would probably behoove you to maybe make nice with the locals, and you'll get these weird little tidbits from them, and they'll be a little more honest with you to be like, hey, to be honest, you know, my sheep got away, and when I chased it, I found this weird cave, or you know, that I heard rumors from my uncle or my, you know, great grandmother.
John.
Yeah, eventually.
I think it's a good case. I think you made a good case.
Okay.
So right now, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is number 17.
Okay.
I'm going to go through the whole list right now.
Okay.
Because we're locked in
All right.
for this week. Unless you want to make any last-minute changes, you still both...
Oh, no more games will be added this week.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That was it for this week. You both still have powers if everybody shut up.
Well, there was a game that Blood was ashamed I had not brought. He was shocked.
I know,
I had not
Jones.
brought up yet. But hey,
We're
if it's time crunch,
many weeks
stay
ahead,
tuned.
Yeah. Yes.
Jones will
So
have his
here's
day.
where the Easy Eyes Desire Index...
Shut up, everybody.
Oh!
Like, it's not one of my personals, but Devil May Cry 5 is below Control.
It is. You can put that...
How did that happen?
Wait,
Oh
Is it just
below,
because
below
Ben
meaning
is not
Oh
here?
my god.
Hey, he said everybody shut up.
Oh.
So where do you want to put it? Do you want to put it just above Control, or do you want to even put it above Dragon Quest XI?
Just above Control.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 5 is broken back into the top 10. Oops.
Ugh.
And now Control is out. Oh, did you hear?
Sam Lake.
We're out of the top 10, Sam. We need a new trailer.
Ian does bring up a good point, though. Ian does have his own personal list,
Yeah.
which is finished.
Yeah.
And I feel Ian is being shafted from this process. Every now and then he gets to yelp and
Yeah.
scream from behind the, you know,
I like the yelps and
our
screams.
monitors back there. But
This
like,
is torture every
I don't think
week.
gets as even of a vote as we do on this panel.
It's very true, yeah.
So I'm very curious. I want to hear.
Okay, so I'll go through this one first, and then
Okay.
we'll go through Ian's entirely.
Great.
Cool. So the
Cool.
Easy Eyes Desire Index. Number 1, Resident Evil 2 Remake. Sorry, Resident Evil 2, 2018 in parentheses is basically what we'll call that game.
Yep.
Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead Redemption 3, the new number 3. What's up?
Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead 3. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Thank you, Jones. Kingdom Hearts 3 is now number 4. Cyberpunk 2077 is number 5. It's in that top 5. Spider-Man, number 6. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, number 7. Ghost of Tsushima is number 8. Number 9, Dragon Quest 11. Number 10, Devil May Cry 5. Broke the top 10 because of Blood's usage of Everybody Shut Up. Control, Smash Bros. Ultimate, Forza Horizon 4, Anthem, Halo Infinite, number 15. So then we're at Fallout 76, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider, beneath Fallout. We were desiring Fallout more. Skull and Bones, Darksiders 3, above Gears 5, Team Sonic Racing, Elder Scrolls 6, Babylon's Fall, Black Ops 4, and finally, number 25, our least desired game in the index, Pokemon. Let's go Pikachu and let's go Eevee.
I think Black Ops 4 is a 4 in print. Like just a 4.
It is. When you go to their Wikipedia page, it's a 4. But let me have fun, Blood.
Okay.
To listeners, I just do the 4 eyes.
I corrected you in the timestamps a little sneakily.
Jones! Why? All right, fine. I'll just change it to 4 everywhere. Ian, let's hear yours.
Gladly. So my list is very, very different from their list. Their list is crazy to me. Number 1, Cyberpunk. Number 2, Control.
Oh.
Number 3, Sekiro.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
Number 5, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Wow.
Number 6, Ghosts of Tsushima.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, Last of Us 2. Number 8, Anthem. Number 9, Skull and Bones.
Number 8 is Anthem?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
Number 9, Skull and Bones.
It's your turn to squeal, Kyle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Number 10, Fallout 76. Number 11, Pokemon, because I've never played the first Pokemon.
Fair. Yep.
Okay.
12, Spider-Man. 13, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. 14, Forza Horizon. 15, Devil May Cry 5. 16, Elder Scrolls 6. 17, Halo Infinite. 18, Darksiders 3. 19, Sonic Racing. 20, Dragon Quest. 21, Kingdom Hearts 3. 22,
Sonic
Smash.
Racing above Dragon Quest.
Yeah, you're damn right it is. 23, Babylon whatever. 24, Gears 5. 25, Blops.
Yeah.
Now that's a list.
Ian, that's a good list. What's really funny is the 2 ones we added were pretty close. Our Darksiders 3 is number 19, and our Forza Horizon 4 is number 13.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you were pretty close on both of those.
14 for Forza and 18 for Darksiders.
Yeah, I'd say your list has more of a bite.
More of a bite?
Yes.
Oh, like it's a little snarkier?
Last of Us Part 2 is way higher than I thought it would be.
7, yeah.
Yeah, Anthem's too high. That's my criticism.
I've got my reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he played a lot of Destiny.
And me, I've got mine. What is that song? It's time.
And Monster Hunter.
For
Also,
Love and
they said
Respect.
you can make the numbers go away. So.
Yeah.
Love
and respect.
Had a tweet from somebody who had perfect pitch. So they say you need to replace those batteries. Because Rufus is like down 2 somethings.
Yeah, I heard it sounded a little off.
He sounds great.
Here's the deal, though. If it's all uniformly out of pitch together, then it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as we sing along to him,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
correct every time.
Right.
Like, he
sounds
might
great.
not be where he used to be, but if he's in pitch with himself, then hey.
There's no proper pitch for Rufus's song. We don't know what song it is.
What's also that it might just be his like artistic arc. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's
know?
expressing himself.
He's getting darker and
Yeah.
more minor, yeah.
Yeah.
The reason I like, there's
Quieter.
a couple of games I really want to play this week. This one's so fun. We're not going to learn about video games, but we're going to learn through this game. Hey, allies. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are pretty low on your hype index. They are. So I have a game to give the series some much needed love. Pokédex or Animal Planet? Working on a better name. Apparently didn't find one. I've listed a mix of Pokemon entries and random animal facts. If you
Okay.
think the line belongs to a Pokédex entry, say Pokédex. And if you think it's referring to an animal, say Animal Planet. Not necessarily these facts came from Animal Planet.
Okay,
But that's just the name.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Love and respect always. Tanner Methvin. Okay, here we go. The yellow stripes on its body absorb sunlight to convert into electrical energy.
Pokédex.
Pokédex.
Nope, that's an oriental wasp.
Wow.
I wasn't even done. This makes them don't peek, blood. This
Okay.
makes them most active during the day when the sun is at its brightest. This is gonna be a hard game.
To electrical energy?
Yes.
Wow.
Electrical.
Let me just start off.
Electrical eels, they're a
Yeah,
thing.
get ready. This isn't.
Yeah, but they don't like absorb from it. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Nature's amazing.
it is.
Get ready. Well, let's get back to easy. Its cry can be higher than 115 decibels, louder than a supersonic jet engine.
Oh, that
Animal
has to
Planet.
be Pokedex.
That's real. Those are pigs.
Yeah, I don't mention jets in Pokemon.
Oh, it's cheating, Johnson.
Well, I mean, you know,
How's
cheating
that
for my
cheating?
my
That's really
two
funny.
Pokemon games I played.
Because you weren't like, that's a pig, but you were like, oh, that's not a Pokedex. I love that.
Louder than a jet.
louder than a supersonic jet
I'm doing
engine.
bad at
Just
this.
little pigs squealing. Ooh, that makes me mad. Pigs are strange. Okay. To avoid crushing the baby it carries in its pouch, it always sleeps standing up.
Pokedex.
Real. That's a kangaroo.
Blood, you got a stance? You ran out of time on that one.
Pokedex.
Jones, what Pokemon is that?
Kangas? Or Khan?
Yes, you got there. Kangaskhan, yes.
I couldn't remember if I couldn't remember if it was like a Roo situation where like Khan was the baby and
Oh, yeah.
Kangas was the.
No, it's just it. That's just the Kangaskhan. Doesn't
Okay.
evolve. Just has a baby always.
Ah, cool.
Pokemon are weird. Because it's like, if the baby comes out and then it doesn't have a baby in its pouch, what is that baby? What is that baby? Though regarded as peaceful, beautiful creatures, they will happily drink blood for its nutrients if given the opportunity.
Pokedex.
That has to be real.
That's real. That's butterflies.
Oh. How do you know they're happily? When
Yeah, I don't know. Man.
I don't imagine a Pokedex referencing drinking blood directly. They'll find some other weird way to reference it.
Okay.
Pokedex actually they get nasty sometimes.
Okay.
It can topple an Indian elephant by enveloping the prey in 2 seconds.
Animal Planet.
Is that a snake or something? Or a gator?
Blood waiting on your guess.
Yeah, I would have to be Animal Planet.
That's a Pokemon.
Oh,
Really? They mention India?
Yes, Jones, this is one of the rare exceptions of them and now talking about a country and an actual animal. Right? It's not like it can take down. So that's Ghastly. Ghastly the ghost. A little ghost orb can somehow grow large enough to envelop an Indian elephant. No. Like, the Pokedex is full of such nonsense. Like, that's not what a Ghastly does. Don't write that. That's, anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll mention countries. Like, they mention China in a Pokedex entry. It's weird. It's real weird. Not consistent.
Just give me a square footage of envelopment. I don't need another animal reference.
2 seconds. That's all it takes, too.
Yeah, I should have won my gut on that, but it's just weird.
Elephant doesn't deserve that.
It can sense the electric fields of all living things, allowing it to hunt through electrolocation without even using its eyes, ears, or nose.
I mean, that sounds like it could be either one, but I'm going to go with Animal Planet.
Pokedex, I'm going with.
Animal Planet.
Oh.
What animal is that?
That's a shark.
It's a platypus.
Oh, platypus too.
And
Okay.
the fact is that they do it through the bill. The electrolocation through the platypus's bill.
It's just the all living things kind of threw me off. That seems like
Yeah.
something that someone that's writing a type of animal would write, and not necessarily someone that's
Not
doing
all
scientific
at
research.
once.
Because
Right, yes, not all living things on the planet.
that means that platypus was tested against every living organism on the planet. Who knows? There might be something at the bottom of the ocean we've never met yet.
Yeah,
Where
platypus.
the platypus is like, huh?
Can you find that platypus?
Yeah, exactly.
Their fingerprints are so similar to humans that they have confused crime scene investigators.
Pokedex.
Animal Planet.
I think
Animal
that's
Planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
What
it
animal
monkeys?
is that? No.
Oh.
Koalas.
Wow.
Isn't this fun?
What koala was at a crime scene?
It looks like we
We
found
had,
him.
we had to let him out.
We got him.
What do you mean you let him out? Turned out to be a koala.
Turned out to be a koala.
You're fired.
Oh my
I wouldn't
god.
lie
I
about
love this
that.
game. I love this game. They are sensitive to danger from an early age. If they sense a hazardous situation while in the egg, they will hatch early to escape.
Pokedex for fun. Could totally be Animal Planet, but I have no idea.
Pokedex.
That's real. That's a red-eyed tree frog.
Oh.
Isn't that sick? Just like, oh, danger. Like, how do you know? How do you even know, you little sleeping baby? its skin is
Actually, if you look at frog eggs in development, but they're saying, are they frogs at that time or are they tadpoles?
Good question, Blood.
Okay.
Yeah, you're a tadpole when you come out of your frog egg.
Yeah.
I mean, some frogs might not be.
Yeah, like how would a tadpole know of danger, really?
But
Maybe
but
water
at the same
jostling
time,
around?
either way, when you see them, like when you see the eggs and like they're magnified, like you actually do see like tadpoles swimming around inside the eggs. So it's not that hard for me to understand, but it's kind of crazy.
Sure. Its skin is very thin. If it is exposed to light, its blood heats up, causing it to grow weak.
Animal Planet.
Blood, I need to guess.
Pokédex, because it just feels weird that it would be weak.
It's Pokédex.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good.
And I would never guess this too. Diglett.
Oh.
Diglett, the little brown guy with the red nose. That's if it comes out in sunlight, apparently it grows weak because its blood heats up.
Ooh.
Nah, dude, not Pokédex. When it encounters an unusual smell, it foams at the mouth and spreads that foam all over the spines on its body. The purpose of this is unknown.
Animal Planet.
Pokédex.
Animal Planet.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Hedgehog.
What weird?
Hedgehogs.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just unusual
I
smell. It just starts foaming and then just spreads it all over its spines. What are you doing, hedgehogs? That smells weird.
The things we didn't know about Sonic.
They need to incorporate that into Sonic as a danger. If at any point you like run into an unusual smell, he just starts foaming up.
That's dangerous information. You just imagine like finding a hedgehog in the wild and just taking out some juicy fruit. It's not doing it. Give me that strawberry.
Yeah, like what is the unusual smell? Its droppings are hot, so people used to put them in their clothes to keep themselves warm.
What?
Animal Planet.
Yeah, Animal Planet.
That's Pokemon.
Used to,
Yeah.
but don't anymore.
They don't do it anymore.
If you go into a store,
It would not
and
be
you
civilized.
ask for some Pokemon poop clothes.
Darumaka
No.
Jones. You haven't met Darumaka yet, but you will someday. He was in black and white. Man, that's funny. What a dumb thing to come up with, right?
I should have known because what poop stays warm forever? What?
Yeah.
Oh, Pokemon. Yeah. Yes.
My coat's all hard now. Give me that fresh coat.
Oh, but like seals. I don't know. Yeah.
All right, Jones. I'm glad we got you here. We didn't get to put one of your games into the index, but like we can put the spotlight on you here.
Yay!
Hello, allies. Why do you think the musical genre in games has never really been explored? With musicals back on the rise in film and Disney constantly repackaging and reselling their animated musical classics, one would think that there would be an untapped market of potential. Would love to know your thoughts. Much love and respect, Sam.
I mean, there is the music genre.
That does not count. We're not
so-
talking about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the closest thing that you would think to. Well, again, but it's like, what form are we taking here? You know, like one of the most profound moments in the history of absorbing video games was playing Final Fantasy VI on the Famicom with my friend for the first time. He spoke Japanese, and he was like, "You gotta check out this game." And I jumped right into the Opera House scene. It was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like I was way into theater at the time, and still am, but I was like actively doing shows one after the other, and so I couldn't believe that this was like a part of this game. But in that mode, there were lyrics that you had to memorize. 3 specific spots where she would like almost forget the words, and you had to plant the right words in her head. That and like the Guitar Hero, the theater rhythm approach. Outside of that, I don't know how you would do that.
I'm
Like,
trying to remember another game just did something similar to Final Fantasy VI recently.
So like, here's
I
the
don't
thing,
remember
though.
what it
Is
was.
I would
Kentucky
argue.
Route Zero episode or Act 3 did that, where you had to like, but it was just you got to choose which lyrics were next, and then
Oh.
she sang them.
I would argue that Parappa
Oh.
the Rapper almost is this. What do you
The
got?
Life is Strange Before the Storm.
did not play.
Okay. It has a whole theater thing. It's not
Oh.
musical, I don't think.
Oh,
Most
you're
of
like
it.
putting on a play?
But yeah, you're doing the play, and you're remembering lines, and you're also making
Final
some
Fantasy
decisions.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Parappa the Rapper is the whole game is a musical. The
Yeah.
story is driven by the music.
Yeah.
You move forward with these things. And so that's what I mean by musical, Jones. Like, the songs are, they're what props up the story.
A story told through music that you experience solely through a video game exclusively. Yeah.
Yeah. Why isn't that happening?
Well, why aren't there more Parappa sequels?
Because Parappa. I mean, Parappa was remastered and it was not successful.
Yeah,
They did not like that game.
Mario plus Rabbids, that boss fight.
I'm not talking about boss fights, Blood. I'm talking about a whole game.
Whole game. Okay.
Why? Like, basically, you know what I mean? We have action movies, we have action video games.
That's a lot of writing.
Yeah.
Conquer is very musical. There were lots of, characters would break out into song. There's the infamous poop song, and that was part of a fight.
This question was not, please think of exceptions. This question was, why doesn't it happen more?
Because it wouldn't sell, man. Because people,
There we go. Get to the truth, Jones.
Because there's not a lot of... This is a wonderful comment. I am stoked that you are into musicals and video games. There are not many of us. There's not. It's a weird paradigm crossover. For us, for me, it was just my youth. I just grew up, and my brother did a lot of theater, and so I was exposed to theater at a young age. And I remember seeing Jesus Christ Superstar and being like, "Wait, people are doing this? This isn't like punishment for something? Like you're actually choosing, no, I'm doing musicals in school." I was like, wow, I'm totally going to do that. And then did that all through high school and got just, made a lot of really great friends and got just involved and really played a lot of weird roles. And I just love the past that I have with theater because it is why I'm, can do this, why I'm comfortable in front of the camera, comfortable up on stage, comfortable public speaking. And if you came from the opposite direction, if you grew up on games and then discovered theater at a later life, I think that's another way you could approach it. But I just don't see those people. It's really hard sell.
Hamilton is very hot right now.
It is, but how on the earth would that translate to, the historical part of Assassin's Creed Origins is fascinating, but it's not moving units right now. It's something that's cool that they added to the game. But I would love for the gaming industry to be more cultured than it is to start appreciating these other things. But it's a very, very tough sell.
Yeah, I mean, the excuse I would make, Jones, is that you are, by design, if you have this musical game, it's very linear and it's short.
Yeah.
Basically,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The amount of writing and the mechanical design that you have to come up with, it seems to be very difficult to pull that off in a longer term thing. And
it'd be like a 3-hour game. That's a lot of music you have to write for a 3-hour musical, So it's just I think it'd be like a 3-hour game. And I guess you could try to get better and better at it, like Parappa the Rapper. But yeah, it's really hard to motivate a story with music in a video game because video games need to be plump. Yeah. They need to be, you need to find loot and things like that. And so I think it's just hard. It's really hard for that genre to translate into video games.
One of the reasons why I'm not necessarily pining for something like this, and one of the reasons why I will always be skeptical, and in a lot of the instances of the ones that produced already, very much not into movie musicals, is because the thing for me, first of all, I want to see the best person cast in that role, not the most famous person. And second of all,
that old argument.
That old thing where talent, it's weird. And also, to me, one of the greatest things that's so exciting and electric about musical theater is that's live. Is that I'm seeing this happen in front of me. I'm seeing this exchange. Hamilton's great. If you buy the album of Hamilton and you listen to it, it's stupendous. You see human beings do that live. It's crazy. You're just like, wow. And seeing that build and build and build and build and build. Seeing, people finish a number and pose, and they're trying so hard to just hold that pose. You can see their chest just, you're just like, wow, the conditioning that it takes, the discipline, how hard it is, to pull off something like that. So when I see a recording of something, you're like, well, yeah, you recorded it. It was I bet that was the 12th take. I want to hear the first one. I want that first one to be, you're done. You did it.
Yeah.
And that to me was what's so remarkable about the best musical theater performances I've seen over the years.
There's a danger to it.
Yeah.
Energy. Yeah. Yeah. And at the same time, I just said it's not possible. It totally is. If it was songs instead of cutscenes in between missions and Anthem, I'd be way down. like a Disney movie type song, just I love you, I love you. I don't know. I think it'd be cool.
I would really want it to be participatory in some way. That's why Parappa I think is the best example in the history of games as far as an actual musical brought to a game. Because I wouldn't want to play something where now I'm stopping and just kind of watching this cutscene and watching them sing.
Yeah. I know the comments are saying Guitaru Man, but there's no lyrics to it, so I just a musical needs lyrics.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What about that Gal Metal game?
I know very little about the Gal Metal game, Ian.
It's the one that Ben interviewed Tak Fuji.
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
It seemed interesting. It's I don't know. Could be weird. I don't know anything about it really.
Okay.
Never mind.
It's definitely different than a normal rhythm game, but I can't remember enough about how he described it off the top of my head to say if it qualifies.
Let's play another game where we're going to learn a lot about video games. What do you got, Jones?
Well, one other thing that I just want to say on that topic,
Please
because
do.
you seem disappointed, and I feel like I'm disappointing the person that asked the question. What
Yeah.
would be fascinating?
Here we go.
And what musical theaters don't have, that no production I've ever seen has had, that is interactivity. So it'd be really interesting to have your typical musical arc, where you have your character who's like, well, now I met this girl, and I want her to like me, but she doesn't, so I'm going to sing about that.
She looked right through me.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're like, screw that girl. And like, I'm making that choice. She didn't recognize you the first time you met, forget her. And you're like, oh, whoa. Like being able to just be
Dude.
Life is Strange style. Just like, no, I don't care.
And we can play as a girl, just like, that guy sucks. He's not interesting. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
It'd be cool to
actually.
play like Phantom of the Opera and have the Phantom like through the mirror, and Christine's like, nah, she just leaves. You're like, whoa, like, where do we go from here? Like, that would be fascinating.
Jones?
And then you get other musical. You're
nailed
like,
it, man.
You're like, oh yeah, I played through, and my Detroit Become Human musical.
Yeah.
Like I got this crazy thing at the end where like I turned away every person, and they were just left alone and sang this really sad song.
That
like,
that could be really cool to do, like an FMV musical where you have to make choices in rhythm so that you have a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And like it just changes outcomes and stuff.
Very, very, very hard to develop, but
Yeah,
and
we
right.
have to write so much
Oh,
music
yeah.
for this. But
Gotta
I'm in.
get Lin-Manuel on the phone. Let's do it.
You're funded. I'm in. I'm way down for that game. Jones, thank you for interrupting with that spectacular idea. Ça va, allies? I've been interested in middleware. Those weird company and product logos that show up during startup screens and at the end credits in games. These are things like physics engines, rendering tools, codecs, etc., which work with game engines to do specific things. I have a game about these pieces of software.
Oh no.
I will give you the name of a piece of middleware,
Oh no.
a brief description of what it does, and the names of 3 games. Your job is to guess which game out of the 3 did not include that piece of middleware.
Oh.
Okay.
Good luck, love, and respect, Ian from Seattle. Okay, so we're talking about physics.
Is that 2 Ians?
No.
There was another Ian earlier.
Was there?
Yeah.
We did
Good job.
Tanner, and we did Sam. I don't know where this other Ian is.
I thought you said another Ian earlier today in this podcast. Oh,
I could have been
When I
saying
cut it later, I'll keep my ears out.
Yeah.
I did say to Jones, I'm Ian.
A lot of things do sound like Ian. It's
Yeah.
true.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Physix. PHYS, capital X. A physics engine developed by NVIDIA.
Okay.
Here are 3 games. Mirror's Edge, Mafia 2, Stuntman Ignition. By the way, I love... These are like 3 similar games to me. Like, what a category, Like,
Stuntman Ignition is the red herring. I'm not
Yeah.
going to bite, though. Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge.
Stuntman.
it is Stuntman.
Stuntman is such a weird thing.
Yeah.
Probably that one.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me.
Mafia 2 and Mirror's Edge both use physics. Okay. Bink. A video
good old
format.
Bink.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
old
Bink.
Bink.
I remember
Logo, yeah.
Bink.
Oh, I know
With that
Bink.
weird logo.
Developed
Yeah.
by Rad Game Tools. Okay, so here's our games. Mark Echo's Getting Up. A Bug's Life. The Saboteur.
Bug's Life.
Saboteur. Or that Getting Up one.
I
Bug's
needed-
Life.
Bug's Life it is.
Ah.
I just wanted to get one.
By the way, Ian,
Feels
I'm glad
good.
you're hopping in on these. I like this. All right, Euphoria. A human animation engine. You know this?
Yeah.
Developed by Natural Motion and later integrated into Rockstar's Rage engine. That's
Ba-boom.
that's why you know that, Jones. But here are 3 games: GTA 4, LA Noire, Backbreaker.
GTA 4.
Well, I'll bite
LA
for this
Noire.
one. Backbreaker.
Mm.
Probably Noir.
And
though.
would you say, Blood?
It
You
was
said
LA Noire.
It is LA Noire.
Backbreaker is the one
Oh, yeah,
that
they had their
What
own.
is that
basically
game?
started it. I'm pretty sure
Oh.
it was a football game.
Backbreaker is a football game?
I could be wrong, but I think so.
Okay.
Crazy.
But
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what introduced Natural Motion.
And then LA Noire is just doing its own stuff, probably.
Yeah, it had its own engine for that. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Forgot. Well, I assumed it was this engine because I thought they bought it, but no.
Havoc, a physics engine.
Oh, you know
Yeah,
what
baby.
wasn't?
Havoc.
I'm sorry. Wasn't Force Unleashed a huge Euphoria one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't remember what engine
wasn't
that
it
was.
Euphoria where they were the stormtroopers were grabbing stuff to save themselves?
Yes.
Wasn't
I
that
remember
Euphoria?
them loving that as a tech demo. I don't
Okay.
remember what the actual engine
All
is.
right. Continue.
Sure. Ian, can we pull up the wiki page for Force Unleashed? We got to find out that engine is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Havoc.
Havoc's in like everything.
A
It's gonna be
physics engine developed by Havoc Company. Yeah, it's in everything. Okay. Alice. Madness Returns. Deus Ex. Invisible War.
hard. Ooh.
The Ant Bully.
What? What a pull.
Based off the film.
I'll go
The
Deus
Ant Bully.
Ex, Invisible War. Ant Bully seems like just the cheapo kind of game that would just be like, let's just grab Havoc.
Hey, well, come on. It's not necessarily. It's like it's just let's just grab. That's not a cheapo move.
I'm gonna go with Deus Ex as well.
It's
But-
Alice. Madness Returns. Deus
Okay.
Ex had it. Invisible
Really?
War had it. Yep. But you're right. I mean, that could have been any game you could have said. Yeah, that has
Ant Bully
Havoc.
was just
Yeah.
too weird. It's like that's gotta have it, right?
Yeah, it's got to have it.
Why else would you pull that up?
It does seem that Force Unleashed had Euphoria.
Okay.
Jones, great memory, man. Nice. Tress Effects, a hair rendering system developed by AMD. It's funny that
Any
like,
relationship to Tresemme?
ooh la
which
la,
is a shampoo.
Ooh la la. Yeah, I know Tresemme. It's weird to me. Like I didn't even know.
I
Like
didn't realize that it was from AMD. That's interesting.
yeah, and Nvidia's doing like these engines as well. It's interesting to know.
Physics,
that-
I knew that.
It's cool. It's cool that they're supporting their own stuff and feeding into their own business. Here
So
are
is
three
Tress like French for hair or something? Or like what?
I'm looking it up.
Oh, Ian's
Okay.
looking this up even. Okay, 3 games. Tomb Raider from
Mhm.
2013, Thief from 2014, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided. I love that they gave us 3 Square Enix games. here.
Yeah.
Makes it trickier.
I'm going Mankind Divided. But Thief was my first hit. I'm just trying to think of like the hair in Mankind Divided is not like
Tress means like
flowing.
I can definitely remember like some beards and stuff going on. I'll go Thief. Definitely was in Tomb Raider. It's a big deal.
You hopping onto that, Jones?
No, Deus Ex.
Okay. Ian?
what's happening?
What does Tress mean?
Oh, tres. Well, obviously it's 3 in Spanish, but in French it means like very. Tresemme, roughly translated, means well loved or much loved.
Whoa.
But
Much
Tress
loved
Effect has
FX.
2 S's, doesn't it?
It does. But so does Tresemme. I think.
No, Tresemme is only one, I think.
I think
Oh.
Tresemme is just one.
Apparently I don't know my Tresemme. Thief. It was Thief.
Ah.
Thief does not have that wavy hair.
Tresemme only has 1. Yes.
Okay. Good to know. Not related then. We know that now. We know that those 2
But
things
it's
are...
weird because it's capital T, capital R, capital E, capital S, M-A.
Oh.
So it's like, I don't know why.
Hmm.
But
Ooh
it
la
just
la.
means well loved.
Ooh la la. Speed Tree.
Yeah, Speed Tree.
Do you know Speed Tree?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows Speed Tree.
What is
I don't know
what is
Speed
Speed Tree?
Tree.
I'm curious to your definition of
Based
this.
on the name, what do you think Speed Tree is?
I mean, I have it right in front of me.
Oh, it helps you make trees
Yeah, a foliage rendering system developed by IDV.
quickly.
Yeah. Ooh. Ian, have you used Speed Tree?
I downloaded a demo
Cool.
and I tried it in Unity one time.
Nice. So
I
here
think.
are 3 games. Not knowing what we know now. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 05, The Order 1886, Duck Dynasty, the video game.
The Order.
The Order.
Yeah, the Order gets my vote.
Nah, The Order has it. Tiger Woods was the red hair.
Ah, you got me. There's
Tiger-
so many
when you
trees
said
in that
05,
game.
I
Yeah.
was like, that's a little early.
Yeah, it was a little early.
trees.
Yeah. So The Order and Duck Dynasty both using that same
That's
engine.
great.
Oh, I love that.
Not
Fun
much
game.
similar between those 2 games, but there it is.
It is now time for bets. Next week's bet's about Sonic Mania Plus, which will be released on Tuesday, July 17th. The biggest notable change is the inclusion of Mighty, the Armadillo, and Ray, the Flying Squirrel. At this point next week, I'm going to type Ray the Flying Squirrel in quotation marks into the search bar of DeviantArt.com. How many results will there be? Brandon Jones.
380. I'm going low. Or high, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Daniel Bloodworth.
Yeah, who knows, man? I don't. 564 is the most random number.
So maybe I'm overestimating the Sonic fan base. I'm going 7,001.
You're probably right.
Ian?
So wait a minute. Is this relevant hits or just like hits?
So-
Because you're gonna get a bunch of Star Wars. You're gonna get a
Yeah,
bunch
so
of...
what happened when I
These are
typed in...
quotation marks.
It is going to be in quotation marks.
Oh, okay.
But when I typed in eggs, there were 552,553 results.
Right, but just the word eggs.
just the word eggs
Right.
that time, yeah.
right.
I'm betting on the quotation marks. That's what this
Right.
is.
Yeah, I get that. What's
That's
your
people
bet,
just
Ian?
put it up as Ray.
76.
76. Let me lock that in. I hope 7,000 people are like, man, Kyle needs this one. Let me let me draw up some Ray art. This week's bet: Hotel Transylvania 3: Monsters Overboard, released today, July 10th. Supposed to on PC, PS4, Switch, and Xbox One. So far, I checked the Steam store. It's like it's coming today, anytime now. It is out on Switch, and I can buy the physical version on Amazon. The prices match up. Anyway, what will that game cost? Jones, you bet $40. Huber bet $59.99. Brad bet $30. I bet $39.99. Ian, you bet $34.95. The actual price for Hotel Transylvania 3: Monsters Overboard is $39.99. Jones, I got you by a penny.
Got me.
I got you by that penny, dude.
Hold.
Oh.
I'm looking at Steam right now, and it's $29.99.
Ooh, that complicates things. Well, no, we said PS4 version. If
But-
you go to Amazon and type it in, it's $39.99.
Okay.
Why is the Steam version cheaper though? That makes me mad. Maybe I'll just play the Steam version tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a normal thing.
It's also $39.99 on Switch.
That's a lesson. That is a bet lesson.
That's a bet
right
lesson.
there. When you're doing the price tag,
Yeah.
account for
And
that
if it was
nonsense penny.
Ian who was a penny off, I'd probably share the point. You know?
No.
But Jones, you are my rival.
no.
I'm not giving you.
No, no,
I'm not going to let you touch that. That brings us to Red Grouse 9, Gorgeous Gorillas 12.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Solo gorilla. I love it.
Droopy Eagles 9, tied with Jones, and Switcher Snakes 2. Okay, let's talk about Blood.
It's
What?
didn't that the Switcher Snakes, didn't that sound very much like the original Lizards?
Yeah, it's a
sound?
reference, right? It's a
Yeah.
nod.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
It's just funny, just like all of a sudden like it just caught
Yeah,
that
it's
memory.
a nod. Yeah, that's the ticket.
yeah.
Nod. What? Or sorry, you're not. Your name is not Nod. Blood.
And henceforth, he was known as Nod.
Blood. What's your favorite thing in your apartment?
My favorite, well, I don't live in an apartment, but in my bedroom,
Sure. What is your favorite thing in your bedroom?
my wife.
Oh.
Oh, he got you, Kyle. He got you.
Ian.
What's up?
What's your favorite product you own? How much you coveting your synths right now?
I hadn't thought about it for a while, actually.
But is it less now than it was at halftime?
Yeah.
Ooh, hey. Then
He
you
was doing
both
a-
succeeded.
he was
in
doing a
our
lot of
objective.
research.
Yes, which is
He's
just
focused more on
distracts you.
Force Unleashed than Synths.
So, Ian Bradburn is the person who submitted that. You're right, Ian. We did have two Ians.
That's
Yes. The reward for you two for reducing your materialistic ways. A brand new car. Congratulations.
Sweet.
Yeah, you're both getting a brand new car. Contact Ian.
yeah, that street parking is brutal though.
Yeah. Oh, I hate street parking, man. Let me tell you a little bit about patreon.com/easyallies, because we, the Easy Allies, are funded through patreon.com/easyallies. If you go there, you can see how many patrons we have, which is a ton. You can see
Yeah, new records. Yeah.
Hey, be a part of this giant group. But you can also see, more importantly to you, the kinds of things that we can do for you in our different tiers, our different reward tiers. Case in point, in this particular podcast, if you give $5 a month or more, you get this podcast 2 days early. You get to listen to it on Wednesdays instead of Fridays, or view it on Wednesdays instead of Fridays. You can even download it on Wednesdays instead of Fridays.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's worth checking out. Check out that website. Check out patreon.com/easyallies.
We just had a spoiler mode go up last weekend too.
What is that?
When we have a spoiler discussion about a game or a movie, and this time it happened to be a movie. Brandon and who else was with you?
Myself, Michael Damiani, and Ian Hank talked about Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Can we do a real quick, can we get a little temperature gauge on Ant-Man and the Wasp? How you feeling? Where we stand on that?
It was fun.
Yeah, I liked it a little bit less than Damiani and Ian, but we all were fairly positive about it. It was just
Sure.
like kind of nitpicky stuff, and it's tough because I thought the first movie was great, and so it's just kind of like, coming off of that, expectations, jokes that have already been done that are kind of being recycled a second time, and
Yeah, man.
and so Ian's just knocked it out of the park with his expectations lately. He's seen a lot of films, he's kept them real low, and he's walked out with his head up, and I admire that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can't ever be disappointed.
You can never be. Anyway, I've won the rights and responsibility to share the Twitter handle with the world. I get to promote any Easy Allies video I'd like to promote. I get the final word on anything I've disagreed with throughout this podcast. And I get to sign off with my trademark sign-off. My Twitter handle is @KyleBossman. I'll tweet some point this week. The video I would like to promote, Ben Moore interviewed Tak Fuji to talk about a game... What is it called? Gal something?
Gal Metal.
Gal Metal.
Gal Metal. Google this, right? Can I just Google Ben Moore Gal Metal? Tak Fuji is probably
Gal Metal, probably.
Easy
Yeah.
Allies Gal Metal.
Yeah, it's also on the E3 playlist, which you can still find on easyallies.com or on the main YouTube channel.
Okay. So yeah, check out that interview, which I assume is really good, and
It's fun.
we can
yeah.
all learn a little more about Gal Metal.
It's quite weird.
Yeah.
The interview.
My final word is to
Head
say
banging.
that's like part of the game, right?
I don't think so.
I think it's a
much.
game element.
I mean, the game makes you headbang. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's any gameplay that involves you in real life headbanging.
You just
You're
said the
a
game
drummer.
makes you headbang.
Yeah.
It makes your character headbang or me, the player?
Well, probably both.
Okay, that's what
Yeah.
it's a headbanging game.
But Ben and Tak
Ben and
Fuji
Tak
are
Fuji
headbanging
headbang
together.
in
That's
the
the main.
interview.
I
that's
see what
the
you're
thing
saying.
need
I
to
got
say,
you.
yeah.
Sure. Final word. Spider-Man right now is at number 6 on the Desire Index. That's absurd. It's a top 2 game. You're messing this up. Both of you are messing this up. I've given you a responsibility, and you are not handling it well. Tomorrow is forever all ours.
I am enjoying these microtransactions.